Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric Payton.
It's always so anticlimactic there when it ends. That's forever going to be a meme. What is that noise?
Hold on.
Were you making food? Is that the microwave? I feel like that's your microwave. That is a microwave, 100%.
Sorry, I had my headphones on. Okay, now you can talk.
Were you making food? Was that your microwave?
No, that was my aircon.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right. It's getting ready. It's warm, or it's getting to be summer for you, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's hot as shit.
that's one of the reasons why I need to come there for like 3 months a year, just to get away from all the cold weather. Oh, all right. We have some people in the house. We have Fetman Plays here. Good to see you.
I thought it was Fateman.
Is it Fateman?
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Fateman. Cody here. That fight might be my favorite Clark and Lex fight ever. I think it's the only one that's ever happened, right? Like the actual physical fight. I don't think it's ever happened in live action before. I can't think of one.
Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think it has.
Maybe you have to start thinking more.
Maybe. Possibly. You know what's funny? And I'm knock on like glass, I guess.
That glass. I thought it was wood.
No, it's glass. It's under here.
Okay.
This is a play a game.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like you painted on your table or something.
No, it's just it's like a mouse pad. So last week when we did the Nerdcast, we played a bunch of clips, and I thought for sure that they were going to get claimed and removed. None of them did, as far as I could tell. And that was the one that had like the Marvel sizzle reel. So I'm wondering if they're waiting, because I mean, normally it would have been claimed by now, right? I mean, it's been several days. It would the algorithm would have already detected it and claimed it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Darren says Superman Returns. I think I don't know. I have to go back and watch that movie. I haven't seen that movie in a minute. I have to go back and watch it and see. 100%. But we're gonna watch today. There's a clip of that fight with some behind the scenes stuff that I think the CW uploaded. Did you see that?
I didn't watch it, but I saw it on my YouTube subscription.
I haven't seen it yet either, so we're gonna watch it together here to see if there's anything in it that is interesting or whatever. I don't know. Are they claiming stuff now for the show? I don't know.
Not really. I haven't had any trailer claimed for this season of Superman Lois, which was good.
I feel like they're just kind of letting people do whatever they want.
Mate, I remember there was last season was like last year, I guess, like that. Well, like when it was like the final season of The Flash and season 3 of Superman Lois. They were pretty good, but the season before, like pretty much the post-COVID season, they were assholes. They would claim anything.
Yeah, it felt like that, right?
Maybe next I was like, well, we need money, but for some reason we're claiming YouTube videos or something. So maybe like Nextstar gets finally like a 1 green tick amongst 74 red crosses.
I guess. The thing is, it's always fair use. That's the part that annoys me is I'm not just talking about me, but anybody that does these kinds of videos where you're talking about the show and you're not uploading full.
You're not just re-uploading clips or something like that. You're not just.
Well, that's different. Yeah, I mean, if you're just uploading clips, that's different. But I mean, like if we sit here and we watch a 2-minute snippet of the show and then we talk about it, that technically is fair use.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird to me when they want to claim that kind of stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me in that regard.
Yeah.
So, But we do have a poll up in the chat asking what you guys think about this version of Lex, because I do have some thoughts on what's been happening and some of the stuff I've been hearing about this iteration. So please vote on the poll if you're in the chat. Also, we do have a very interesting goal today for Super Chat. So if you'd like to participate in that, $5 Super Chats, and I will give you guys my ranking of all the live action Superman, like where I consider all of them to fall. So
I thought you were gonna rank the last. I thought you were gonna rank the last 5 presidents, but all good.
We're not going there. We're not going to go there.
Hashtag drama alert nation.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Anyway, so if we hit that goal, we will discuss that at the end of the stream. So if you want to participate, you can. By the way, we have our first goal here, first super chat towards goal from Turbo Studios, who says, in a vacuum, I wouldn't be a fan of this version of Lex, but in the context of this show, he's awesome. I absolutely love the fight in this episode. Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on. I think that, well, let's go ahead. I want to pull up this poster that I used for my thumbnail, and credit to the artist, who is Mike Posters, I believe. Hold on, let me double check.
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Posters is the person that made it.
Mike
the only reason
Posters.
I even saw this is because all of the people from the cast are retweeting this or reposting it. He's been doing, apparently it's what he does for a living, but he's been doing like posters for each episode. So he's got some really interesting ones, but I really enjoy this one. I thought, I mean, this is the kind of advertisement they should have been doing for the season anyway, but I mean, they don't really care because the budget is in the toilet. But I love the way this poster looks. I think this is a great design, and I'm hoping, look, I hope it's not AI. I'm hoping that this is him like just being really good at like, you know how, what was that guy that used to make all of the like fan edits that got really big from Australia?
Oh, Boss Logic.
He did a lot of stuff where it was like his own art mixed with like, you know, different cutouts of different stuff to make it a brand new thing. I don't mind that, but if it's AI, man, I'm just like, he says it's, people are saying it's not, but I hope it's not. I hope it's not AI. That's my only wish. So, but thank you for the super chat, Turbo Studios. I do appreciate it. All right. So we're going to be talking about episode, I think it's 6, right? It's episode 6.
Yeah, Super 6.
Super 6. And I want to kind of get into this a little bit. I guess we'll start out with probably the story that kind of drove through the episode, which is Lex and his plans for Smallville. He's trying to buy people out for land and stuff. And I guess they weren't having it in Smallville, or there was a little bit of drama there. That's going to take us into the idea that everybody pretty much knows about Clark and Superman and the kids now, which I thought was quite funny. But this whole storyline is interesting because Lex is trying to buy out spaces for, I didn't really understand, maybe just a manufacturing facility. Did he really say what it was that he was trying to do? Do you remember what it was specifically? Or
Oh yeah, I guess it was just Luthor Corp as a whole, wasn't it?
It was like he was moving his factories to Smallville.
Yeah,
what I could tell. And of course, Lana was not having any of it, and they're talking to different residents, and I think her name was it Addie? Addie was the lady's name.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure. I didn't really catch on to the name because
I think it was Addie.
Really mattered.
But she's one of the residents that was like holding out, preventing him from building because her like house was in the middle of the fields that they were trying to buy, which, you know, that's actually something that happens a lot in real life. Have you ever seen like the pictures where people like don't want to like sell their house, and so they build around a house, and it's like this big like updated facility with like a little house right in the middle?
There's an example of it in Australia.
Where, really? What is it?
I probably wouldn't know what to Google to find it, but it's in Sydney. It's in Western Sydney, and this guy had a decent sized property, but it's not like the house isn't that big, but the land is. Mm-hmm. And an estate developer came in and wanted to buy the land to be part of the estate, so they just built the estate around his house. So
is it the Zamet family?
I'm not too sure. You show it on screen.
All right, hold on. I'm going to pull it up here. I think this is it.
I'll be able to tell you if it's yes or no.
Let me show you. This is funny, but this is essentially what would have happened if this person would have not sold to Lex. Right here, is this it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So it's like all this like new updated stuff around it, and then this random bit of land that's just not. They're not going to change. They're not going to sell it. Whatever.
So that was all like other houses and other property and stuff like that, and the estate developer bought that out, but they didn't want to give it up. Yeah,
there's another one. It's another small house in Sydney. What is it? Is Sydney just a bunch of people that don't want to sell properties? Is that what it is? This is a close up of what the place looks like. So they just don't want to get rid of it. It's really interesting. Look how green the yard is too. Like that's pretty cool. Anyway, so essentially that's what they were trying to do, is get this person to sell so that he could put his land down or put his property down on this land. And this is where we start to get, and it happens in a couple scenes with Clark as well. There's one where he's going into the store to buy something, and you can tell that the person ringing him up is a little nervous, which ends up being the same person. I think that was the same girl that was hanging out with the boys at the party, right? Yeah. Same one. Okay. So she's a little nervous, and then obviously this Addie person and other people in town, and we start to get the idea there that people could be onto Clark as Superman and the boys. And I thought that was interesting because it also we have the scene where the coach from the football team shows up to talk to them in the star athletes while they were in the restaurant, in the diner. And I was like, we haven't seen this guy for like, what, a season and a half now? It's been a minute since he's been on the show.
No, he was at Colin Chris's wedding. He was the DJ, remember?
No, I mean, but as the football coach. Like, we hadn't seen him like, doing it with the boys. So it's since season 2, I think. But at that point, we were sitting and watching it, and I'm like, everybody knows now. Everybody in Smallville knows, or at least they have an idea that that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make any sense otherwise. And it got me thinking, like, how do I feel about this? Because remember at the end of Supergirl, when the show ended, before the Arrowverse ended, she sort of, like, revealed her identity to the world. Like, she went on all those TVs and was like, I'm Supergirl, And I didn't like that. But I didn't like that not because I thought that necessarily would be a bad idea. I didn't like it because of the implications it had on the other shows and the secret identities of people that she associated with, which was part of the reason why a lot of superheroes keep their identity secret. But in this regard, if Smallville knows and they found out on their own, does that mean that they're going to make this public by the end of the season? I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're going to go public with his identity at the end of the season, or?
I think it's whether it's just Smallville or if it's the world. If it's just Smallville, then I think I'm pretty fine with it. But if it's like he goes on like a national TV thing like Supergirl did, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it either, but it seems like the town is very like they want to back him up, and even with Luthor offering, I think he offered like 10 million to everybody to sell their properties.
Yeah,
and they were like, no, we don't want it. And then Amanda is getting more annoyed with him, because of all the drama with Lois and her basically screwing up the deal that was happening. And I think I got a picture here of that going on. Where's it at? Yeah, right here. This deal that was happening with, I guess, some investors, which I think it's really weird. If he's got enough collateral to offer 10 million to every resident of Smallville, why does he need these investors? I don't understand that.
Well,
that's a lot of money to offer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably just some sort of like business mumbo jumbo.
Is it Bitcoin? He's offering him 10 million in Bitcoin, maybe.
Maybe not Bitcoin. Maybe like one of those Doge. NFTs or something. NFTs.
Yeah.
Like
some pyramid scheme or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so they got this business meeting going on, and Lois rolls up and like interferes with it. So all this is happening. It's very chaotic. But then we have the plot with like there's so many moving parts to the storyline. So then we have the part where, because Lana has stood in the way of Lex, he decides to go after her, talks about her faulty security system. So that's going on. And so he sends in, what's the guy's name again?
Otis.
Yeah. I don't know. I draw a blank on his name. He goes in to go after her, and then Sarah shows up and hits him with a shovel.
I think it was a baseball
twice.
bat.
Was it? It was it was something in the house. Metal, hard though. And
It could have been wooden.
I don't know. Was it wood?
I don't
It was
know.
whatever it was. It was. I thought it was metal. It
I
looks
thought you were
shiny
the
to
I thought
me.
you were the expert of sounds.
No, not.
Well, that's what you
But
claimed to be
it's just
before. So.
it's a metal baseball bat. It's either metal or wood, I guess. But we'll go with baseball bat. Hits him with it, knocks him out, and then they come and arrest him. So now he's being held, which leads into Clark and threatening him. Like again, everything sort of. You know how last week we talked about the episode sort of feeling like it was just sort of setting things up and answering questions. This one, everything kind of like flowed together in the story. It was all like bits and pieces of things that overlap with each other. So everything sort of like it was like the ocean or the rivers feeding into the ocean, you should say. So he was a board member. Okay, cool. That makes more sense. I was gonna say if he's got 10 million to offer to all those people, why would he need any investors or any investments or whatever? So we have all that going on, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it is the budget of the show or whatever, but some of the scenes don't feel as well shot as they were in previous seasons. Does that make any sense?
There's certain things like I think like the
interior shots specifically, I
some of
think,
the
are the one.
but then there was like the shot with like Sarah, Jordan, and Jonathan at the end, and that looked exactly like season 1 or 2 when they're walking in that field. That looked like
like this shot here. I mean, this shot looks okay too. I think for me, it's mostly the interior shots.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Is it because they had to build sets for things? Is that
well,
why?
maybe they got a different studio space to build things and
yeah,
stuff
it feels like the show used to feel a bit more spacious and more like in a grand way, and now it feels like a lot of things are sort of like pared down, which is a little weird. I get it though. There's a money situation. I'm not saying that they were supposed to pull money out of thin air, but it did feel a little odd. But the outdoor scenes I think look really good. And so but ultimately what happens, we'll get to the fight next because that's the next part, is Lex ends up giving up, at least for now, and doesn't want to have anything to do with putting anything in Smallville. And we're going to get to the fight. I'm saving that for the end because we're going to watch the video. What did you think about Clark dealing with aging, like buying the hair dye and all of that stuff? I thought it was really funny to me. I was laughing a lot because it just seemed like such a weird thing for Superman to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, well, you've got like some gray hair, Eric. Do you ever, outside of dyeing your hair like pink, because I know pink's your favorite color? Do you ever?
I mean, I have a collection of colors,
like not in regards to like, but do you actually like dye, as in like
permanent hair dye?
Like I don't want to have this gray hair.
I know. I mean, I was rocking my gray beard for like a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I even have like a white dye that I put in sometimes. So I don't really care too much, but I feel like the reason why it bothers him is because he never expected to have like gray hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He thought he would always be youthful.
Or at least not for a while.
Right. So I thought that was quite funny that he was in there like buying the hair dye and stuff like that. I did see some concern from people in chat. You guys can chime in on this as well, because I don't know if anybody here feels the same way. But I've seen people concerned that he's going to lose all of his powers by the end of the season and just be a human. Do you think that's what they're going to do or not?
No, I think he won't. But I think he'll be like he won't be able to use his powers like in a Superman way, if that makes sense, like consistently. Like he'll still be able to fly. He'll still be able to lift his car if he needs to, or quickly run somewhere, or heat up a cup of coffee with his heat vision or something like that. But he won't be able to do what like Jonathan just did in the last episode, like fly to Tokyo like that and quickly save a car and stuff. Like he could, but it could kill him if he acted that quickly.
Or he could pass out and they'd still die and he's laying on the ground as Superman, which would be like not good. But I saw people upset about that already on social media, kind of going off on that idea. I have faith in the team behind the show. I think they're going to make the right decision. I don't think they're going to do something that is going to jeopardize all of the investment that we've had on the show. At least I don't think they will. So Comic Nation says that they are worried about that, about them, taking away his powers. But they're definitely setting the kids up. So let's go ahead and get into that. So the boys are really sort of let me see, I got my notes here. The boys are really starting to like lean into that, especially Jonathan. And in some ways Jordan is assisting him. Thanks, Lone Wolf, for your member chat. Love the episode. The fight looked a little sluggish. Yeah, we're actually gonna watch that video with the fight in it. But thank you for being a team member for 48 months. I do appreciate it. But Jonathan's flying around and doing a lot of stuff, and I see that, it seems like Clark and Lois in some ways are worried about how much he's doing, but I don't see a problem with it. You know what I mean? I don't see an issue with it. I think it's fine. If he's capable of doing it, it's not interfering with anything, then I don't see what the issue is with him flying around filling in where Superman can't.
I thought it was playing into the fact that people started to like think Clark was Superman. I thought that's what sort of they were playing with. Like, it was like
maybe they were worried that people were going to put 2 and 2 together, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. That makes more sense, I guess. But overall, though, if he had a costume and some sort of secret identity, I think that it would be okay.
And I think we're
are we getting suits next episode? Is that what we're getting?
It wouldn't surprise me if that happens. Where like they're like, okay, well, because also at the end of this episode, Jordan's like, I've got to start going out again because he feels bad for what happened to Sarah and Lana in the episode. Yeah. So he's like, I can't just, because he can still hear things. He's just playing video games to mask the sound. He's wearing
to like
headphones.
Block it all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cody says Jordan taking a step back was an interesting choice. Well, I also think in this episode they played into the idea that he's been kind of slacking off a little bit, and we see that, like you said, with the Lana and Sarah stuff, where he's not sort of in on that as well as he should have been. Somebody posted, I tried to find it earlier, that the scene where Jordan goes into the diner to try and get a job is similar to the scene that Clark did back in Smallville when he went in to try and get a job, all the way down to like go get a job at the hardware store. It was all sort of a nod to Smallville. Did you see that clip?
No, I didn't.
So there's a scene in Smallville where Clark is looking for a job. He takes a help wanted sign. Inside, I don't remember if it was a cafe. I think it was probably the coffee shop at this point where they converted it into a coffee shop. And so he goes in with the sign to work there, and Lana sort of like kind of fumbles over her words a little bit and then tells him to go get a job at the hardware store, which I saw in this episode they did sort of the same thing. And I'm like, they had to have, I don't know if they've addressed it or not, but it feels like they had to have like known that that's what they were paying tribute to in that scene.
Probably. Because
it was like too on the nose, in my opinion. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I'd assume it's probably a nod. A bit too coincidental nod to me.
Yeah. But we need the suits right away.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I feel that way about it. All right, what do we got next here? I guess we can go ahead and talk about the fight. So and I think everybody's pretty excited about this because I think it was the highlight of the episode. So obviously there's been this thing brewing with Clark and Lex, obviously, this season. No hiding that. And so he finally's had enough after things happen with Lana, and he goes and confronts Lex, who at this point had, I guess at some time, changed all the lighting on Main Street so that it was like the red sun lighting. Because I thought it was going to be kryptonite, honestly. I was like, he's going to have kryptonite or something.
Well, I thought the little device was just like one of those Sonic things, like he took out Jordan.
Yeah.
I thought it was something like that.
Let me see here. Where's it at? Stop screen, present, share screen.
Present, share screen, yeah.
All right. So we're going to watch this. This might get clipped out, but like I was saying earlier, maybe it won't. Maybe they won't clip it out. So this is the Superman versus Lex Luthor, which actually Clark versus Lex Luthor, which I thought was quite funny, with BTS behind the scenes, which isn't much behind the scenes, but we'll go ahead and watch the clip here.
No, still.
You look upset. Did something happen?
We know it was you.
I don't follow.
You harassed my
The
family.
audio,
You killed my
did the audio
father-in-law.
bug out for you?
Now
for
you
a
try to
second?
kill my friend and her sister.
Yeah, like tweaked out.
That was weird. Let's go back.
Might be StreamYard with its utter brilliance.
Yeah, it was StreamYard for sure because I'm
Dubstep.
watching the other window. It's not there. So anyway.
Did something happen?
We know it was you.
I don't follow.
You harassed my family. You killed my father-in-law. Now you try to kill my friend and her 16-year-old daughter.
Again with these false accusations. You and your wife need to stop trying to set me up.
Stop lying!
Ooh.
Your friend Otis is in custody, and we will make him talk.
Hold on, can you pause it?
Yeah.
Why does this remind me of an after party argument between you and me, where I'm gaslighting you? Like I didn't say anything.
Like
Why are you getting so
wearing
angry?
pink.
Why are you getting so
because-
triggered?
Like
Eric?
you saying that I wear pink when I don't wear pink.
Well, no, that's the one truth I think I've actually mentioned. There's actually photographical evidence to back it up.
So, I have to say the acting in this scene is amazing. I think this is some of the best acting we've had on the show in a minute. I mean, usually it's Elizabeth, but I mean, Tyler's good, obviously, but the chemistry between these two in the scene is extremely good.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
We'll see about that.
This is over. We are going to end you.
You're going to end me.
I have to say the music thing. So that's one of the things I've noticed this season. I guess it's been in every season, but for some reason it's been very noticeable to me. Is like some of the music is too CW-ish for Superman and Lois, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like they've gone down the route of like the other shows that they used to put out, like the other drama shows with like pop music. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. It feels like a couple times this season the music has been a little bit too much. Because normally we get cinematic music on the show. You know what I mean? It just, I guess it's cheaper to license music than it is to to do something with a score. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess it also probably depends maybe if it's in the Warner's catalog, like Warner Music.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Try doing it without powers.
Okay, so before we get into the fight, we're gonna watch the whole fight here, or whatever they show in this clip. This part annoyed like so many people that we're watching it with. They were like, "How does that take his powers away immediately? It shouldn't be immediate." And I thought, well, maybe it's because of like him being affected by the human heart. Maybe that's why. But then I thought that would make it less effective, even with the kids. Technically, the kids being born as half human should make Red Sun less effective on them. Technically speaking.
Yeah.
I know that's a bit pedantic, but I feel like it's something maybe they would address on the show if we had like 3 more seasons, but we don't, so they're not going to really address that. I know in Bizarro World it was normal, obviously, for them to have that kind of light, but I feel like the Red Sun wouldn't have made him immediately vulnerable to Lex Luthor, like headbutting him or punching him or whatever. I know they have to move the story along. I get it. Like, I'm not arguing against like the logical pacing of the show, but I feel like, I don't know. Is that weird? I mean, do you think that's
it didn't
weird?
really cross my mind, to be
What do
completely
you
honest.
think,
when I was
though?
watching. Well, I just thought because we saw like in season 2, was it? Yeah, like season 2, like whenever he went into like the Red Sun thing, he seemed to get dampened like immediately.
But on Bizarro World, that didn't happen.
No, but then
Right.
again, that wasn't like extreme exposure. Like this is like direct beams from it. Well, that's the Red Sun from a distance away.
So your explanation would be that there's a difference in the sun being red and red light.
Well, yeah, I guess like an example would be like if you sit next to a campfire, like, oh, this is warm. I'm getting warm. You jump in the fire. Oh, I'm burning. I'm dying.
Okay, so that's okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So Darth Zen, the way stuff affects Superman overall in the comics it's changed over the years. Some kryptonite doesn't even exist anymore. And some of the kryptonite that did exist did different things. between the comics, the cartoons, and the live action. So, all right, here we go. Let's watch the fight.
You have nothing on me! And you never will. Even when there is nothing left of your pathetic family.
Ooh, that was a good hit. Okay, so we're almost at the end here. Not much behind the scenes. I think we saw that one shot of the camera just now.
Well, to
and
be
that
fair, it
bit
says
of
Lex
Gary's-
Luthor scene with behind the scenes. So
I know, but I thought we'd get more of that. I wanted to see more of the behind the scenes stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's finish it off. Oh, there we go. They granted my wish.
Cannot see.
All right. So, a couple things. One, clearly that was done because of budgetary reasons, I think. In my opinion, that scene, even though it's great, I think it exists because of the budget. That's what I think. But,
Yeah.
you know, which is fine. I don't have too much of an issue with that overall. Who was it earlier that said it was a bit sluggish? Somebody said it felt a bit sluggish. Did you get that vibe from it at all? Like it was kind
I
of.
think it was meant to be though. Wasn't it meant to be like almost like a prison fight? Because that's what
Yeah,
Lex is
maybe.
used to. And like and Clark had lost control. Like he'd hit breaking points. He wasn't fighting like Superman. Also, he was fighting without his powers.
Yeah.
So it should be sluggish. If Superman without his powers, and it's prison brawl Lex Luthor, who's been doing that for the past like almost 2 decades.
Yeah. We're going to end the poll in a second. So if anybody would like to vote on the remainder of it, please do that. We're going to figure out if you guys prefer this Lex or not. And I want to speak on this Lex a little bit. A couple things. One is some people I have seen think of this Lex as, and this is like an exact quote, as a redneck Lex Luthor. And they don't like that vibe of the character because they feel like Lex is supposed to be like a city guy. Do you see that at all? Is that something that you even understand, or
Say that again, just to.
they call him like a redneck Lex Luthor? That's what I've been seeing on social media.
No, I think he's a hardened Lex Luthor.
Okay.
I think there's a difference. He's a hardened Lex Luthor because even in the flashbacks, he acts differently. Like he's got a red side, if you want to put it. Like he can see red, but he's still like Lex Luthor.
No. I don't think anybody's arguing that he's not. I think they're saying that makes him distinctly different from all the other Lexes. Is that he's more of like a brawler type guy and feels like he belongs in more of a rural setting opposed to the city. And we see at the end of the episode that Amanda's like, we need to get you a killer suit. You know what I mean? Like they want him. It feel like they're trying to turn him into that Lex
That
in Metropolis.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the next step. We know that he gets there in the season because we've seen other like previews and stuff like that. But I think that's one of the big problems people are having with him is that he's not quite like the other versions of Lex, which I'll be honest, I think that's what I like about him is that he is different from the other versions of Lex that we've seen.
Yeah.
And I think this fight scene in particular, the reason why it's kind of cool to me, outside of just visually looking like a cool fight scene, is this is Lex fighting Clark on his terms. But the next time they fight, it's going to be on Clark's terms because he'll have his powers.
Yeah.
And so we'll get to see what that looks like. We also know that Lex is going to have a Lexo suit. That's where we're heading in that direction.
A Lexo suit. Is that
Yeah.
what they call it now? A Lexo suit.
Yeah. So I feel like we're going to get to that point where we're going to see, Superman fighting with him and he's going to have the armor on. So it's going to be like the John Henry stuff, which we still don't know how he acquires the John Henry suit. But
Well, I think
that's
when
got
he
to
said
happen
that,
next episode, right?
Well, I think when he said when it was said that he needs to get a killer suit. I think it was
Yeah.
double meaning. He needs like a business suit, and he's gonna have to get clean shaven. But he
Oh
also
yeah.
needs like
It
an
was
actual suit
like
that
a
can
double
kill.
entendre. Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah, it's like when Eric says time to put chaps on. It's
Mm.
got two meanings.
yeah, it's got more than two actually. It's got
More than
multiple
two.
meanings, so more than
God,
two.
how many
meanings.
meanings?
But yeah, I really enjoy it. You know, the wearing of the chaps, I guess you could say. Canada Graphs has arrived. I quite like the fight. Not as good as Cecile versus all the Godspeeds, mind you, but still great. Yeah, I remember that. Lex Luthor kind of like Tobias well when he fights Superman. Yes, yeah, I can see that 100%. What is it out here? Darth Zen says he's hardly used any tech at all compared to cartoon Lex or Supergirl's Lex. Well, I think that in general is part of the charm of the character is we see that he's willing to get his hands dirty, even though he does send his minions out to do stuff, which is something that a lot of Lexes just don't do. They prefer to sit back and, send people out to do their bidding. Anyway, so now he's back in Metropolis, getting ready to get a killer suit. We're going to see what happens there. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was good. I think for me, even though it didn't have a big, boombastic, super powered fight, I still enjoyed what we got. And I think it was a very smart way to handle the budget restrictions. But I'm still feeling like this season, especially the interior shots, are looking a little less, I don't know, poppy compared to the way they did before. I don't know if it's the camera style, what they're doing with it, whatever. I thought it was a good episode. I'm going to say the episode for me is like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd probably
Solid.
make you at an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the only thing I felt was not great and felt a bit forced was just the Sarah exit sort of thing. It just came out of nowhere. It's like, I think they realized, oh shit, we probably gonna, because I think she's meant to be in the series finale. I think she said that.
Yeah.
So they're probably like, oh shit, we have to explain why.
Yeah, I didn't talk much about that. I thought that was okay. I think the scene with them flying away was
I thought
great.
that was good as film and stuff, but it was just sort of like very quick. Like
it was.
I think they should have set it up in a previous episode, but I reckon they didn't realize maybe until like they were writing this episode. Maybe it's like, oh shit, we probably need to explain why she's not going to be in the rest of the season up until the finale.
Lone Wolf swooping in with a $2 super chat. I'm surprised we didn't get a Lex versus Kyle fight.
Canada Graphs. Well, I got to address Canada Graphs' comment here. You got to start watching the episodes more clearly. Canada Graphs. They said that Sophie was at Kyle's.
Yeah, she just wasn't in. She wasn't on screen, but she was mentioned.
You're almost as bad as Eric when it comes to paying attention, Mr. Canada Graphs. Eric's the worst. Oh, actually, not the worst. Ben might be the worst.
Yeah. Well, would you have wanted to see a Lex versus Kyle fight? I kind of don't care.
I would have wanted. We could have had
Lois. Sorry, Lone Wolf. Sorry.
You could have had Lois v. Amanda mud wrestling fight though, because they were in the mud in that thing. There was a bit of conflict there. It could have turned into mud wrestling.
What if they gave her the power to control mud specifically? I think that would have been kind of cool.
That'd be a shit power though. Like you have to, it's like, I have to conveniently hope that it rains and then I can use my powers. Or I have to bring a pail of water with me to put on some dirt.
Yeah. All right. Let's end the poll here about the Lex. See what everybody thinks. And we had, do you like this version of Lex Luthor? 70% said yes. The next highest percentage was undecided with 15%. I guess they're waiting to the end of the season. And then no, 14% did not like it. Did not like this version of Lex. So there we go. Now we know. I guess a lot of people are enjoying this version of Lex Luthor. All right, let's move on to a few other topics today.
Could I just interject here quickly?
Yeah.
I know many people are wondering. Eric's not going to answer anything political unless it's super chatted. So just
you're trying to get people to donate super chats. Is that what it is?
Eric will answer all your political questions with super chats.
I will not do that. Okay, so this was posted, and it was like, let's talk about the upgrades. This is like the first suit that Tyler Hoechlin wore back when it was leaked before the season started.
Hashtag leaked.
Look, I wasn't too hard on this suit because it did feel like it felt like the Supergirl suit, like it felt like they were in that same world as Supergirl. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad this is not the suit they used on the show.
Well, technically, they sort of did with the black version, because the black version is just sort of like this style.
Yeah, but I think I'll be honest. I think the black version of this looks good.
Yeah,
because of the way the collar is. I think it's the collar that comes
and the emblem and stuff
all the
like
way up.
that.
Yeah, and the way the cape is made with that more of like a Roman style connection to the cape on the back, which they do it for like so they can shoot. We all know this. They do it so they can shoot flying shots without having to add the whole cape in. But I don't. Looking back at this, I was a little bit too nice about this suit. I don't really like this one. Like looking at it now, I don't think it's a very great Superman suit in a few ways.
Yeah, it's probably like maybe like the overall like the lines and stuff, and I guess like how open the collar is.
And then
And
this
maybe the
was the
boots.
one. This was the. I mean, it's changed a little bit over the years, but this is kind of the silhouette of the one on the show, which is a massive upgrade from the other one.
Yeah,
Massive upgrade. Like if you look at this one right here, like it's almost like cosplay versus the real thing in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. I actually think this suit, not just this version, not this one particular shot of it, but just this overall design, is one of the best live action Superman suits we've ever had. Would you?
I thought
agree or
you
disagree
loved
with
the Dean Cain one.
that? I wouldn't even rank that one.
Oh, okay. Is that because it stands out clear as the best?
Yeah,
Wouldn't bother.
100%. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if you're thinking about Superman suits over the years, like what? Okay, so what is your least favorite Superman suit that you've ever seen in live action? If you had to like say like 100%, it doesn't have to be the worst one that everybody thinks. The one that you think is the worst.
well, I'll use like modern day. I won't use anything from the past. I mean, it's probably the Arrowverse one, like the early one, like that.
Like the one
Supergirl
we just looked
the
at?
the one you just showed. Yeah, it's probably that one. But I think after that, it's probably the James Gunn one.
Really?
What other ones are there?
I mean, there's the Henry Cavill one.
Yeah, but I think the
Brandon
Henry
Routh
Cavill
one.
one is. I think they're both better.
Obviously, the ones from the OG Christopher Reeve era, where
Yeah, well, I wasn't really including them. I was more like like from like
modern,
Superman
the
Returns
modern
upwards.
ones. Right. Gotcha. So you're like post 2000. That is what you're.
Yeah, like Superman Returns to
Okay,
present.
so post 2000, you would say this one and the James Gunn one are the ones that you like the least.
Well, at the bottom too. Yeah, so this one's probably the least one.
Interesting.
I don't think any of them are like specifically bad. Like they're just.
To be honest, James Gunn one almost looks like this one except with trunks. It's a very similar design.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Now that I'm
But
thinking about it.
you know what's actually making me really dislike the James Gunn one even more? Every single time I see a cosplayer, it looks awful on the cosplayers. Have you seen cosplayers do the James Gunn suit?
No,
It looks
I have not.
man, it looks awful. It looks awful. Like the James Gunn one, I don't think looks awful. I just don't think it's great. But on the cosplayers, it looks awful.
Oh man, I haven't seen that one.
And that's obviously because it's not like David Cornsweet is tall and wide and stuff like that. Like he's built to be Superman. So it's like someone's not built to be Superman wearing it. But yeah, doesn't look good on the cosplayers.
Ooh. All right. We had another member chat here from Anthony Beltry. Thank you so much. Member for 50 months. I wonder how Batman will look on Superman and Lois. I don't really know, to be honest. I would assume that the design would be very comic booky, like this design. Like they would want it to feel sort of like it came from the comics. If that makes any sense. I don't know.
Look up Batman movie world.
Okay.
I reckon it would sort of look like that roughly.
All right.
I reckon that type of Batman suit is probably how James Gunn's one's going to look like as well.
Oh, is this the one from the Warner Brothers thingy or whatever?
Yeah, in Australia, the theme park.
All Stop.
Yeah, remix.
This one right here.
Yeah, sort of like that.
Let's see if I can get a better shot of that. Oh yeah, here we go. This will work.
Dabbing on them haters.
There we go.
Yeah.
So this is what you would expect the Batman to look like.
Yeah, roughly on like the Superman Lois. You can sort of see what I mean. Like,
yeah, you know, with a little bit of tweaking, these suits would not be bad for a movie, but you'd have to like go in and like
that should be more
fine-tune them
form fitting and like have like probably like a bigger actor in them and stuff like that.
I don't hate this though. I think this is okay.
I could see
Like,
Gunn's one looking like this, but maybe you know how like Ben Affleck's Batman had like the bluish sort of like dark blue cape and cowl in the Flash movie. I could see Gunn maybe doing that with his Batman, but it's the same sort of bodysuit, like a grey thing with a gold utility belt.
I mean, honestly, this one, the one we're looking at right now, if they went in and fixed some of the padding issues that the muscles that obviously look like padding and made them more, either filled them out to make them look more like real muscles or change them into armor pieces, like attachments to the suit, I think this would be okay.
That is right, Eric. You said you weren't going to be political and you got a blue background today.
Oh yeah.
You weren't thinking. Then again, I get you the Superman and Lois after party, so Superman is blue. So
that's true.
Could done yellow.
Maybe.
I guess you only had one choice. You couldn't do blue, couldn't do red. So what's it? Yellow.
So I want to talk about something that I saw. This is a little bit edgy, I guess. But you and I talked about this, like we were talking about it in DMs, but we hadn't mentioned it on stream. And I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about it. Not because I shy away from edgy topics. Obviously, I'll talk about edgy stuff. But I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't think it was important. I didn't think anybody gave a shit.
It's the Diddy thing? Or?
No. But similar, I guess you could say. So I saw this pop up. And
okay. I was wondering. I was like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Several people have now been commenting on this, and it's been a minute since this post went up. So it's kind of weird to me that people are just now seeing it because I feel like it's like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, when you sent it over?
Like a week, like at least a week.
I feel like it's been at least a week since you talked about this, and I was like, I'm not gonna make a video about it. It's not really worth making a video about, and I was put it in my bookmarks in case we wanted to talk about it on the stream. But now I'm seeing people comment on this and wonder why John Wesley Shipp was associating with him. Like, if you look at the picture here, this is what it says. It was an honor and a privilege to meet Andrew Kreisberg for lunch in Manhattan on Wednesday. So he met with him. This isn't like they ran into each other.
Yeah, so they scheduled the lunch.
They hooked up like for lunch.
Yeah.
As executive producer, Andrew was a big part of the success. That's not a lie. That's 100% accurate. A big part of the success for the CW Flash and Supergirl. I'm forever grateful for the work he did together, particularly on the Henry Barry scenes of season 1. Now, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that Andrew was a big part of the success of the shows. I think that's, I don't have a problem with that. I guess I don't even have a problem with him meeting him for lunch. Like if they know each other and he's like, I just want to swing by and have lunch with you. But posting it on social media and hashtagging his name, knowing that hashtag is full of accusations of him.
The only thing is that
things like
the only thing that you could is that like all the Andrew Kreisberg stuff was really on Supergirl. The only one that's come out with the Flash is that like what's her name? Chantel Van Senten, the actress that played Patty, said that like one of the executive producers who was no longer in the show sort of forced her out of the show.
Yeah.
like right around the show earlier than she was meant to. But there was nothing on set. Like all the on set stuff that was a bit dodgy. That was like we're led to believe was Katie McGrath. Is that her name? Is it Katie? The actress who played Lena Luthor. It was like some of this dodgy stuff happened with her, and then I guess like people on like behind the scenes people or something like that. So it was all Supergirl stuff. So maybe John Wesley Shipp just doesn't know all the details. He just know he was fired. But that's being very.
I mean, look,
lenient.
I like John. Okay. I've met him plenty of times at conventions. I like him. He's a nice guy. He seems like a really cool guy to everybody that knows him. I feel like this is one of those times where if he was made aware of what this was, he would have deleted the picture.
Or it's one of those ones where if you want to go have lunch with him because you want a good rapport, that's fine. But maybe no post on Instagram.
But that was my argument before. Was like first of all, half of this post is true, which is all the stuff he's saying about the success of the Flash. There's no lies there. He can even be happy that he worked with him and had a good like work relationship with Andrew. There's no issue with that either. But you were posting and telling us that you literally planned this meeting with him. And there's no way that he would not have known why Andrew was let go from the CW shows. Yeah. He would have been aware of that. He was still working on the shows at that time. He was a regular cast member. Let's say regular. He was in all the seasons. So he would have known, like, where's Andrew at? What happened? I'm pretty sure he would have asked that question. And even if he didn't, I'm pretty sure if they were meeting for lunch, this would have came up. Well, I miss having you on set. Well, why were you let go? What happened? Like, there's just I don't believe that he didn't know what happened.
Hold on.
Yes.
Eric. This can't be. I'm actually really. No way.
Oh, God. Here we go. What is this? What are you sharing? I'm afraid to pull this up on screen. McDonald's offer a 10-piece chicken nugget for $1 until December 2nd. Is this in Australia?
No, I think this is America. A very American thing. Will you be getting the $1 10-piece McNugget?
Maybe. I like a McNugget.
Well, here's the thing: if you buy a 10-piece, if you buy a 10-piece McNugget, it comes with two sauces. If you buy the two sauces on their own, they're $1.
Right.
At least in Australia.
So you're getting the nuggets and the sauce for $1.
Well, you're buying the sauce, you get the nuggets for free. And then you can dip. If you buy another meal, you can dip the fries in the sauce.
That's true.
Comic Nation Gaming is claiming it's real. I don't know if that means Comic Nation is maybe partaking in the $1 McNuggets. I guess the big question is, are they the actual McNuggets?
Oh, wait. No, this makes sense. They were looking bad on the stock market, so it does make sense they're trying to like bring people back in.
But how much is a normal 10-piece McNugget in America?
Oh, got like $6 probably.
Do you have to drop them down to $1? Wouldn't you drop them down to like, I think people would still take $3 for 10-piece McNugget.
Maybe, but they are expensive.
But you know what it is? It's because people will be like, well, I'm not just going to, if I'm getting this for $1, I'll buy another meal. And that's the whole thing. It's like a brain like sort of thing. Like, oh, well, I'll get a meal and get the extra McNuggets on for $1.
Yeah, they're expensive. Comic Nation Gaming says, do you think he will end up deleting the post if enough people talk? Probably not, because I feel like, I mean, okay, so I'm going to put a little asterisk on that. Probably not, but the asterisk is if people stop talking about it. If this disappears, he won't care. He'll leave it up. But if people keep talking about it, there is a possibility he deletes it and makes some sort of like comment about it. Because look, John's a nice guy. I think this is one of those times where being a nice guy, you could have kept that to yourself. Like you could have kept it to yourself.
Just quickly, because I know we're about to move on from this. What's the weirdest thing you've gotten on your Twitter For You page over the past week? That's not like X-rated.
Well, I mean, like the ads have been weird for me.
Do you know what mine is?
What?
A guy that had a wasp nest out the front on his front porch, and he sprayed it, and it didn't kill a lot of the wasps. No, the hornets. The hornets, I think. Okay. And they're stalking him. He's catching them and beheading them.
What?
Yeah, and he keeps updating his beheading hornet count. Some dude in America. I just thought if anyone sees this guy with the hornets, Shout out if you've seen it as well. Not shout out him because I think it's a bit weird. It's almost like Jeffrey Dahmer level, entry level stuff. But
Yeah.
like, what's next?
All right. It's time to talk about some more dumb.
Oh, yeah,
pieces of
Omega's
shit.
saying them. Omega's saying
Yeah.
them.
So this
That
person
was-
is one of the worst posters on Twitter. I don't like their takes most of the time. Are you familiar with this person on Twitter?
Yeah, he's a rage baiter.
Yeah. Which is why when I talked about this the other day, I didn't even engage
Well,
with the
it's
tweet. I just said,
correction. He was bad takes, and then once like horrible takes, like what an idiot. And then once Twitter monetization came in, it became rage based.
Yeah,
Hold on, I
100%.
can monetize this.
Right. So this was so dumb for a lot of reasons, but there's your favorite Superman suit right there. So this is so dumb for a lot of reasons. Crazy we're in a time where Wiccan is being talked about more than Superman. Hope that narrative changes when the movie releases and the world is reminded of the greatest superhero of all time. This is the dumbest, like, 10-year-old take I've ever seen.
You know who else is getting talked about more than Superman and Batman at the moment?
Lay it on us. What?
Penguin.
Yeah.
So is the Penguin bigger than Batman?
It's dumb. Yeah, people are talking about stuff that's out right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't even have a trailer for Superman yet. And to be honest, we've got about another week that Wiccan and Agatha is in the cycle. And then it's just going to, unless there's something big announced with Wiccan, a project announced with Wiccan, this character will fade out of discussion in like trending until the next thing comes along.
Yeah.
So it's just a really, like, why would you even... There's so many, like, people are talking about Batman. They're talking about the Fantastic Four. They're talking about Penguin. They're talking about so many things. Why would you pick this? And then I thought about it. Hashtag Agatha all along. He's trying to rage bait in something that's really popular at the moment. That's all he's doing with this. This was like trying to get in on that rage baiting as quickly as possible. Because the reality is, once the Superman trailer drops and we're in that heat leading up to the movie, whether the movie ends up being good or bad, it's going to be a topic of discussion until that movie comes out. Once the trailer drops. The only way it will not be is if the trailer is mid and it's not good or bad. It's just okay. Or it's a teaser that doesn't show anything. That's really the only way that goes. But this is just dumb. Of course people are talking about a character that has never been in live action before. It's a pretty big deal. We currently have Superman and Lois. And people are talking about Superman in Superman and Lois. They're not talking about David Cornsweat Superman right now because we don't know a lot about this character. It's just such a dumb take. It's so stupid. And this is one of the things with Twitter that's gotten really bad, is I think Elon came out and said he was going to stop promoting people that are doing outrage bait or whatever. He hasn't done it though. People still do it every
But it's
single
also
day.
hard. But it's also hard to know because like there's stuff where you can obviously tell, but there's stuff like this where it just could be a shit opinion, or
Well, you'd have to look at the person's account to see what kind of
So it's
stuff
probably
they're
like you have to like someone have to like flag and go review this. But then again, it just could be a person that has a shit opinion. So
It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
See you later, Canada Graphs. Man, you're getting into the cycle early. I will not be watching that stuff until later. So, all right, let's see what the next thing is on my Twitter tab here. Oh, this was something that got people upset. The Warner Brothers UK posting your favorite appearance of Lex Luthor. They did not include the one from Titans or the one from Superman and Lois. To be fair, what is it? Titus Welliver or whatever his name was only in one episode of Titans.
yeah, it's
But-
a very forgettable one.
But Cutlets has been in like 2 seasons of Superman and Lois now.
Yeah, and also like Forever Evil and All Star Superman is just like random ones to.
Why would
chuck
you
in there.
mix? Why would you mix those in with live action ones? That's just so
Yeah.
dumb. So I mean, there's even animated ones that are more popular, like the one from the Justice League cartoon. Or the
Yeah,
Superman
the
cartoon.
Clancy Brown one.
Yeah. Anyway, people were mad about this, but based on this lineup, these 6 Lex Luthors, who is your choice?
Someone was detected at your front
Like,
door.
who would you pick? Somebody's at my front door.
Yeah, Insurrection. Who is it? Can you see?
It's just a friend of ours.
Ah, okay. What are they doing? Knocking.
Coming over to hang out, I think.
Let me in.
I-
Little
I'm
pig, little
curious.
pig.
Yeah. Which one did you say? Sorry.
I'm gonna have to say BVS Dawn of Justice.
That's
Actually,
a troll.
when you look at that, does that look like Ben?
From Ben's takes.
You know how
Good
Ben
old
has a really
Ben's
blank
takes?
expression on his face, like most of the time. Does
Yes,
that look
yeah,
like?
it does a little bit. Yeah, 100%.
Am I the only one that sees that DC TV show?
So I would say that for me, there's a toss up to like I like Gene Hackman, I do, but Gene Hackman's performance to me was one that I don't know. He didn't grab me the way that Smallville
Well,
did.
you also said that it reminds you of Kevin Spacey.
No, I did not. You said that. You said Kevin Spacey was a great continuation of Gene Hackman. You said that.
Yeah, but you said that it reminds you of Gene Hackman, the Kevin Spacey one. So you think it'd be vice versa?
No, but you notice Kevin Spacey's not on this list, by the way. So
I am saying Forever Evil.
yeah, that's true. I would say John Cryer's Lex on his first season of Supergirl was extremely good. And then all of his Lex appearances after that were not good.
He was good in Crisis, but then like all the stuff surrounding that, like outside of that first season 4 Supergirl, whatever it was. Yeah, it was a bit. He fit Supergirl in those seasons, but just it wasn't a bad Lex, but it's just nothing of note. Like you just okay, it's fine. What's with the eyebrows in that All Star Superman one? Like that.
Oh no, it's like pencil eyebrows. What is?
Yeah, it's got like a normal eyebrow on the left, and then that one on the right's
Yeah.
gone like rogue.
Yeah. All right. So hold on here. Let's go back. So I would say probably Smallville for me out of this list. I would say Smallville's the one.
Who do you think would overreact the most to being slapped on the back of their bald head?
Probably.
Actually, whose bald head do you think would be the best slap? Like, you have a wet hand, or maybe like you put like butter on their head or something and slap
I
it.
would say Jesse Eisenberg. That one with his head.
Like when he went
shaved.
bald and he shaved his head.
Yeah, that one. 100%.
I'm thinking him. Like Moko Rosenbaum has a very slick head, if that makes sense. It looks like it would take a slap very well.
Yeah. All right, so we have one more topic on the list here we're going to discuss. And then I just want to remind everybody where we're at. We are... Hold on, let me open up YouTube. We are still a little bit away from the goal timer ran out because I put it in an hour. But I should have put it at like an hour and a half, but I don't think there was an hour and a half on it. YouTube, step your game up. But we will be discussing... I'm going to be ranking my live action Superman if we reach the goal. We need about $20 in super chats to reach that goal. We'll discuss it if that happens. If you guys want me to discuss it, if not, then you don't have to super chat for that reason. But I do want to thank for the people that have super chatted today. I do appreciate it, and the team members that have contributed. Okay, so the next topic I want to talk about, and this one might spiral into something else, but so this is a post from James Gunn about what the upcoming projects are. And do you remember we talked about this, I think it was on Thursday or maybe it was last Tuesday, about how if James Gunn confirms something or debunks something, he might actually end up by proxy confirming something else, or people will think he's confirming something else, and that's why he has to be careful. So this is kind of what's happened here with this. So this guy Timothy, I guess this is over, it looks like it's on Threads, or is this Twitter? No, it's Twitter, maybe. I can never tell anymore.
No, that's Threads, I think.
Yeah. Craig Gillespie is directing Supergirl. Andy Muschietti is directing Brave and the Bold. Miguel Puga is directing the Blue Beetle animated series. James Hawes is directing Lanterns. Anna Nogueira is writing Supergirl and Teen Titans movie. Christian Martinez is writing the Blue Beetle animated series. Tom King, Damon Lindelof, and Chris Mundy are writing for Lanterns. So James Gunn then says, I'm also not director on Creature Commandos for the record. I don't know if I knew that or not, but I guess he's confirmed that.
I think he just wrote the episodes.
Yeah, I only directed the primary actor's voice recordings and oversaw the proceedings. Another group of talented folks directed the episodes, and Dean Lorey led the charge. Now, because this was a response to this, we have people now obviously saying James Gunn confirms again that Andy Muschietti is directing Batman Brave and the Bold. Now, was this actually a question anymore, or we kind of knew? Like, I feel like even though he didn't really quote-unquote confirm it in the way that he normally does, I thought this was kind of a give. Was there a point where we didn't think that Andy was directing this?
Yeah, it's just that there's no movement on the project because there's still like the first project is even out, and Batman Brave and the Bold probably wouldn't start filming until maybe the end of next year if you're lucky, or something like that. So,
Right.
I mean, like, there's been nothing on James Mangold, who's directing Swamp Thing. There's been nothing outside of that initial announcement.
Yeah.
Like with Andy Muschietti. If anything, there's been a bit more talk. I think Andy Muschietti talked about it on something, like not recently, but like I guess it was shortly after the news came out.
Right.
But yeah, I think Andy Muschietti is a really good choice because I think all the Batman stuff in the Flash was top tier. So I'm excited to see what he does with a full movie.
I mean, you would also claim this to be confirmation that Andy.
I don't think it's James Gunn confirming it. The only thing he confirms in that thing is that he's not directing episodes of Creature Commandos. That's the only thing he confirms, which wasn't even like. And that's the issue when he replies to stuff because just like, well, he didn't deny it. He didn't say, he didn't correct anything there. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's not his. Like a reply to some random dude on Threads isn't the time and place to confirm or deny official projects.
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't have it pulled up. Did you see that Daniel RPK went off on that like DC updates or Marvel updates or whatever it was? Did you see that? Hold on, let me see if I can find that.
I think I saw something where he was like they're making up stuff and just attaching his name.
Yeah, but there was like some drama around that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I saw, but that was like maybe like a week ago. I saw that. So
no, this was like recently. It was today.
Oh yeah, if there's any updates since then I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah. So here we go. Let me pull this up. All right, so this is Daniel RPK, and this is the Marvel Updates account, which we've talked about this before, and I'll talk about this Agent Venom thing on Thursday. We'll see where it goes from here. But it says here, Agent Venom is in development at Sony. It's currently unknown if the film will take place on Battleworld or not. The film is rumored to release before Secret Wars with no major connection to the live-action Silver Sable movie, and then they source Daniel RPK. Now, I've never seen a scooper have to push back at stuff like this because typically scoopers will just take whatever they can get because if it ends up being right and one of these random things report on it, then they'll just take credit for it. They'll say, yeah.
I still remember back to what's that site? I can't remember the name now.
We Got This Covered.
I think that might have been the one. And they were just spurting all these random, like, this character's going to appear in Crisis. This character's going to be a Crisis. And then finally, it was announced that Black Lightning was going to be in Crisis. And they went, oh, we predicted this. And you go back and, like, they'd done it with, like, 20 characters. And those 19 of those other 20 weren't in there.
Yeah.
And they were just labeling characters just to get clicks. Then they claimed it and went, we got the exclusive.
Right. Well, the funny thing is the Marvel Updates replied to him and said, I said rumored. Now, you've said this before. Paigey, what are some of the words we see that immediately are red flags about whether or not something is true?
May, might, obviously rumored, could.
That's those are the big ones, right? So I guess he's saying that he is absolved from releasing bullshit because it says rumored. And to some degree, that is true. If you put rumored or you put may, might, could, maybe, whatever. If you put those in there, it does allow you a little bit of wiggle room because you're saying that in your post. But that doesn't mean that you don't know it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you could post something knowing full well it is an outright lie and just put rumored and then say, oh, well, I put rumored in it. So I think that's what he's getting at here. But this isn't the end of it. Like, there's another bit of story back here. So Buyout Car says, spreading false info, that is was a problem, fucking dumbass. And he goes, right, and being untruthful is my decision and my decision alone. So he knows that it's not true. So stop acting like telling the truth is some moral thing that every update account has to do because it's not. Also, you guys are all ungrateful pieces of shit. So I don't know why you feel like I owe you the truth. If anything, I owe you the shit on the bottom of my shoe. And Buyout Car says, suck my fucking dick. So that was his response to that there. This is where we're at with, like, there was a time where scoopers actually had a level of, what word am I looking for? Prestige, I guess. Where
also just like some sort of like gusto to like not just talk shit constantly. Like, I've always said it. The movie that ruined it Actually, there's probably two movies:
Mhm.
Endgame and No Way Home.
Right.
They killed it because everyone, and I guess to a degree now, the Twitter monetization that's added a fuel to the fire.
Mhm.
As you can see, Marvel Updates has the blue tick there.
Yeah, I mean, and anytime you see that and you see a rumor attached to it, most likely they're just trying to get money for clicks, which I'm not trying to knock their hustle. People are going to do what they're going to do. They do it here on YouTube too. We've seen it. There's a few big accounts that we've called out before that do this kind of stuff. And it's but the weird thing is he's sourcing Daniel RPK, so he kind of has to. I mean, if he wants to hold any credibility, he has to be like, I didn't say this. You know what I mean? This isn't what I've talked about. You know, he says literally didn't say any of that except for the Agent Venom and development part, and then he just kind of.
See, the way to
Updates
do
just
this
added all
would
that
be
other stuff
like
in there.
it'd be like Agent Venom is in development at Sony, and then you'd source Daniel RPK. We're also hearing this, that, and the other. That would be a way to
Right.
write this tweet, but this makes it look like Daniel RPK said
Right.
all of this.
Right, so there are sneaky ways to get away with it. Like
Yeah.
there, you could do things to get away with it. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. All right, so go ahead and pull down the banner for today here.
Fall down the
All
banner.
right, let's see here. Did we get all the comments? Yes, we got all the super chats and member chats. All those are taken care of. Anyway, there's not a ton I want to go over today because I know we're getting into like the political time of the night, and I kind of feel like a lot of people are hyper focused on that. I've got to actually go to work. So tonight is advertising night. So I go to work to make all of the posters, all of that stuff for the website to advertise events for different venues and things like that. And I do that all on Tuesdays. And I have a very bad feeling because this is the way it's been with like the debates and stuff, that when I go to work and I'm sitting at a booth with my laptop, my phone, all that, and I'm trying to do my work, they're going to have that shit playing on the TVs. Like all the news outlets, like counting down the time for results to come in and stuff like that. I just don't want to. I actually think I'm going to take my my earbuds, my Dre Beats earbuds.
Flex.
My Raycons, is that a better one? My
And those are cheap ones that
They are the cheap ones actually. But I take my earbuds with me, put those in, and just
I remember the
work
ones
those
owned
on,
by
so-
owned by the dude who did the sex tape with Kim Kardashian.
Yes, Ray J. Yeah. Yep.
At least it's not
And
Diddy.
also, to be honest, they're not that great. Like I've heard people, like a lot of people who are on YouTube sell them, like they have sponsorship deals with them. But I've heard they're not that great. So I've
I
heard
think it's just because they're like okay and they're cheap, but like at the end of the day, you pay for the quality.
Yeah. So the truth is, and knock on glass again, that the Dre Beats that I got, which was a deal that I got when I got my phone, like it was part of those things where you buy this phone, you get these earbuds with it, so it was all part of a package deal. This is like no cap. Those are the best earbuds that I've ever had. Like no lie. Honestly, they're the best ones. So, and I've had lots of them. I've even had the actual Samsung ones because I have an Android, and I've had the Samsung earbuds, the ones that go with my phone, and the Dre Beats are better than those. So there we are. Anyway, hold on for a second. Move that. So that's pretty much it then. Like I said, we're going to leave out a little bit early today. If you didn't get a chance to watch this all the way through, it'll be available on playback. If anything's cut out of it, it's because the CW told me to.
Well, here's the question, Eric, because we're about to end the stream.
Mhm.
On a scale of 1 to 10, likelihood that America shits itself, shits the bed.
I mean, it's
goes
a
into
10.
chaos.
So it's a 10 no matter what. Like I feel like
Either way,
it goes, it's going to be chaos this week.
do you think you'll get some
And-
West Virginians coming over to Virginia Beach? Or
It's a long way away. You keep thinking we're so close together. I mean, it's next to my state, but not next to me. So
Hey,
I'm on the
that's travel.
coast. I'm on the coastline. They're all the way towards the interior. So definitely not anywhere.
What's
They're
above
on
and
the
below
opposite
you?
side. So
Washington's above you?
Washington, D.C. is above me, and below me is North Carolina.
Okay.
And then off to the corner of where I live is Tennessee.
Okay.
So, what's my favorite song at the moment? This is going to be kind of crazy.
I think it's like cringe.
No, because a lot of people may not know this. If you know this in the chat, shout out to you, but a lot of people probably don't know it. At least I would think they don't, only because of the environment. But I really like Sympathy as a Knife by Charlie XCX and Ariana Grande. Those are my favorite song right now.
Is that the one that goes, I'm so fancy? Is that that one?
That's from like 2010. So no,
Boom, clap.
No. Either that or Talk with Troye Sivan and Charlie XCX. I'm kind of into the Charlie XCX stuff because it's like bringing back old school techno from the 90s, which I think is kind of cool. So that's like my go-to song right now. That or what else am I listening to? I'm trying to think. I've got a lot of things that I'm listening to at the moment. Probably watching Wicked. Does that come out this week? I think Wicked comes out this week, right?
See, this week or next week, because I know that the cast was in Australia. They started their
They're doing a lot
tour.
of promotions for it, so I feel like it comes out soon.
It's either this week or next week.
Let's see. Wicked releases. Oh wait, no, it's a while away for us.
Is it the 21st or something that it's out?
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks away for us.
Okay,
But it says it released for you guys like this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe because of the
November
election.
3rd.
Maybe they're trying to avoid.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right. You're probably 100% right. I would say that's probably it. That's it. All right. Yes, I'm going to watch it. Yeah. Are you planning on making a video talking about Agatha all along as a whole? I've made several videos about Agatha already. I don't know if I'm going to do a separate video. Like the last week I made 2 Agatha videos where I talked about how much I like the show. I think if I do an Agatha video, I have to do it this week before it goes out of the cycle. I feel like this is the last week to talk about it. And I'm on the tail end of it anyway. I'll give you my thoughts right now. I think it was a strong series. I think there was some weak elements of it, but the weak elements were lifted up by the strong elements, which I think is the storytelling, the character stuff. Because I'll be honest, Agatha All Along is a show, and Paigey and I have talked about this, that I believe is a lot like Legends of Tomorrow in the sense that it's a character-driven show. It was about the characters in the show, not necessarily the story of the characters. It was each character had individual things happening that made the show. So for me, it was a character-driven show. So that's why the weaker story elements don't matter as much. When you've got a show where the driving force behind the show or the movie is the story, and the story has massive plot holes, then you end up with issues in the actual project. When you have a character-driven project, you can take a hit in story. So I enjoyed it. I think it was a strong series. I know they're getting submitted for a bunch of awards. We may see a season. I'm not going to say a season 2 of Agatha, but we may see a continuation of those characters, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm going back to the Penguin. I don't know. I'll be honest, I got bored with it after like the 3rd episode. And Paigey hasn't even watched it. So,
No, still haven't watched it. Not even a minute. Not even a
I know
second.
it's really good, but I think I said from the beginning, I made it very clear that's not the kind of show that I would typically watch. I'm not into like mobster gangster shows. So are you going to review season 2 of Arcane? I didn't even watch season 1, I don't think, of Arcane. Did you watch Arcane?
No, I know it's the League of Legends.
Similar.
Is it the League of Legends show?
I think
feel
it
like
is.
it is League of Legends, yeah, but I haven't watched it. No. Yeah. The only thing I watched was I actually watched it a couple of days ago. I watched that documentary about funnily enough, it was, with that like the Al Gore, George W. Bush election thing when like the votes thing. I watched that documentary. I'd seen it before, but it's a good documentary and I thought it was interesting to watch. Like, was it 347? It's something votes. I can't remember what the number is, but it's like the amount of votes that like one area, was it Florida? Somewhere in Florida went over or something by then. They had to recount the vote. What was it called? Because people colored in the wrong circle.
Hanging chads or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like the paper ballots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jason here. This will be the last thing that we're gonna head out. Funny how you guys poke fun at the Penguin and haven't. I have watched. I watched 3 episodes of it. They explain why Batman isn't there. I didn't even say anything about Batman not being in the show. What are you talking about?
I didn't really poke fun at it either. I didn't poke fun.
Yeah,
at
I
it.
never made fun of it. I just said it's not my type of show.
I just said I haven't
And
watched it yet. I didn't say
I actually said it was a good show. I just had my interest in it is low, and I've never complained about Batman not being in the show. I always
To
question.
be
whether or
fair,
not
Eric, I remember
it
you
should be
saying that
so.
it was a piece of shit. So maybe Jason's correct. Maybe he
Maybe-
remembers back to
Maybe he
last
is. Maybe there's something that I don't know. Maybe I said
week.
something
Going
that
like
I
a
forgot
5-minute
about.
rant,
I
calling
don't
him a
know.
piece of shit, racist, homophobic,
Maybe.
everything.
All those things. Yeah. So anyway, all right, we're out of here. Everybody have a good night. I will be live again on Thursday with the
So even Jason backed me up a
Nerdcast.
couple episodes. You guys, you got no. I didn't say anything. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't back it. It was Eric. He talked shit.
The only fun that I've made of the penguin was that they made a penguin.
Oh, the
penis
penis,
thing,
yeah.
but that was something they said, not something that I made up. So, all right, we're out of here. See everyone Thursday.